This video is going to explore percentage profit and loss, including margin and markup. So let's look at what exactly profit is. So if a product or service is sold for more than it cost to buy or produce it, then the seller is said to have made a profit. However, if a product or service is sold for less than it cost to buy or produce, the seller has then, in this case, made a loss. So profit is that they've gained extra money, and a loss is that they've lost money on a product. So let's look at this Kildare jersey, for example. Let's say I bought this Kildare jersey for €60. So if I bought it for €60, I'm basically saying that the cost price is €60. Now let's say I go and sell that then for €65. So I sold it. So if I sell it for €65, I'm said to have a selling price equals 65. Therefore, to find the profit or loss, I look at the cost price, which in this scenario was €60, and I look at the selling price of 65. So I'll go back up to my definition of profit and loss. Profit is if it's sold for more than it cost, and a loss is if it's sold for less than it cost. Well, this was clearly sold for more, so I made a profit of €5. If I sold it for 55, I would have made a loss of €5. Okay, now let's explore the difference between markup and margin. So if you're told or asked for the profit markup, basically what they're saying to you is that the profit or loss on the item would be added on to the cost price to get the selling price. So let's say there's a markup of 10%. That means that 10% is added to the cost price in order to get the selling price. So let's look at this example. The cost of producing the product is €100, and the business sells it at a markup of 25%. Markup meaning it's added on to get the selling price, so therefore it's €100 plus 25%, which 25% of €100 is €25, so the actual selling price is 125. Okay, but now let's see if we have the selling price and we're told the markup is 25, how do we go about getting the cost of the product? Well, we need to get 1%. So to get 1% of €125, we divide by 125%. Because remember, it's cost, which is 100%, plus the markup of 25%. So the actual selling price will be 125%. So we divide by 1%. To get 1%, we divide by 125%. This gives us €1. Now, if we've got 1% and we want to know what 100% of the cost is, we multiply by 100 to get €100, which we know is the cost price based on the previous example. So just remember, for markup, the selling price, you add on the markup to get the selling price. It's not included in the cost. It's additional to the cost. Now, the opposite is true for the margin. So the margin, profit or loss margin, deals with the selling price. So basically, the profit or loss margin is included in the selling price. So to get the selling price, you're not adding it on. The margin is included in the cost price. So the cost price now is not 100%. It's 100% minus whatever your margin is. So let's look at this example here. So we're told if the profit margin is 10%, that basically means that the selling price is 10% is profit and 90% is the cost price. So you're not adding on the percentage here, you're incorporating it into the 100%. So essentially you're splitting the 100% between profit or loss and cost. So this example here is the selling price is €125 and the profit margin is 20%. Okay, what is the cost price? Well, basically we need to find 20% and take it away from 125. So we get €100. Now, That means that basically the cost price isn't 100%, it's 80%. Okay, so we find 20% of the selling price and we subtract it, or you can multiply by 80%. Now, if we know the selling price is €125 and we're told the margin is 20%, how would we work out the cost price? Well, 100% of the margin is broken down into profit of 20 and cost of 80. How I got the 80 is because I'm told that 20% is the margin, so the cost price must be 80%. So I take my selling price and I times it by 80 because I'm looking for what 80% of it is, because that's what my cost price is. So we multiply by 80 to get the cost price, simply because the selling price is included, the margin is included in the selling price. Okay, let's have a look at these exam questions now. So a sports shop buys t-shirts for €25 and sells them for €49. We need to find the markup for the t-shirts, and in this case it's a profit as a percentage of the cost, so they actually give you a hint on what to do. We need to find the margin for the t-shirts, so it's the profit as a percentage of the selling price. And then they want us to figure out the margin if the runners are sold at a markup of 50%. Okay, well let's do that now and see how do you get the same answers as me. So for this example then, we've basically had to find the profit, which we know is the selling price take away the cost price. So they made €24 profit on the sports shirts. The markup then is basically the percentage in relation to cost. So we put the profit over the cost, which is €25, times 100 gives us 96%. The margin then is the profit in relation to the selling price, which is €49. We times it by 100, we get 48.9, and it goes on a little bit longer, rounding it to the nearest percentage then, so 49%. So that's part A, part 1 and 2 done. Let's look at part B. So looking at this question then, we have that the markup is 50% or 0.5, and markup is profit over cost price. So the profit then is actually 0.5 by the cost price, and we just get that by cross multiplying. Okay, so then the selling price, or S, is the cost plus the profit, so it's 100% of the cost plus the 50%, so it's 1.5% of cost. So the margin then we know is profit over selling price. Well, the profit is 0.5% of the cost, and the selling price is the cost plus the profit. The C's cancel, okay, and then when you divide that into your calculator, you get 1/3, and 1/3 as a percentage is 33% to the nearest whole percentage. Okay, that question was a little bit tricky, and it took your understanding of cross multiplying here and what exactly the selling price is. And in an exam, this would have been 5 marks.